Peace and blessings, and welcome back to the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. This episode is brought to you by heritagehiphop.com. We are more than music, and we introduce you to your future favorite artists today. We ask you to subscribe to Heritage Hip Hop on all social media and help build the foundation of a movement that celebrates the independent artists and gives homage and the roses to the artists that have made hip hop what it is. You can follow us at heritagehiphop.com, Heritage Hip Hop on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Twitter, Tumblr, and new to Boom You It on www.boomuit.com/@K.R.I.T, K-A-R-E-V. Boom You It sponsors Heritage Hip Hop's movement as well. We ask you to join us. We are also sponsored by Transparent Credit Repair, the superheroes of the financial literacy and credit repair world. Changing your financial future only takes 15 seconds. And in that 15 seconds, all you have to do is go to heritagehiphop.com and click on the link for Transparent Credit Repair. They give 20% off of all services given for anyone who goes through heritagehiphop.com. Open your wallet to receive more money instead of paying out more debt by fixing your credit and ensuring yourself a more healthier financial future. 15 seconds is all you need to go to heritagehiphop.com and click on Transparent Credit Repair to help change your life. On this episode of the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast, we go down south to Mississippi. We're going down to the Crooked Letters, y'all, to talk to Boss Wood, an up-and-coming MC who not only is lyrical, but talks about life, the struggle, and how to overcome the pain of growing up too fast and finding your truth. Salute to Boss Wood. He is a dope artist, and we can't wait for you to enjoy this interview. So I'll come back with the rest of my commentary when this interview is finished.
Peace and blessings, and welcome back to the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast, where we introduce you to your future favorite artists today. And today we go back down south to talk to an innovative voice who speaks the truth, whether you accept it or not. Introduce yourself to the people.
Hello, how y'all doing? My name is Boss Wood, and I would like to let you know that you are not a fan. You are a CEO.
You know what? We could talk about that too, because perspective is one thing that hip-hop is lacking. And I give it to the South, especially rappers from Mississippi, and that's where you from, right?
Yes, sir.
Mississippi rappers tend to focus on reality rather than focusing on fantasy. Am I correct with that?
Definitely. Spot on.
Tell me about the reality of Mississippi life from the Delta to the hip-hop.
Honest to God, what I always tell people when it comes to Mississippi, it's a great place to get old. It's not a great place to grow up because it's so laid back and in the cut. And by you being so young, you're forced to get out there and try new things before your time. So you live life early at a young age, super young, and by the time you are able to get that understanding, you already have it and then move forward with it. So it allows for a great story to tell in the end.
Word. So I was doing my history, right? Because the first something I remember ever hearing from Mississippi was Crooked Letters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now that's taking it back, you know what I'm saying? Because some of these folks don't even know about Crooked Letters, you know what I mean?
Right.
And of
I don't
course,
know about Crooked Letters.
Oh my gosh. So for anybody who doesn't know, Crooked Letters is the original group David Banner came from. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
Now I taught you something about your territory. Salute. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So David Banner has always been known for everybody wants to remember real pimps get down on the floor or whatever. But Cadillacs on 22s was the first song that got to the East. And since we've been looking at the South from a hip-hop point of view, people have always asked, did the South ruin hip-hop? I tend to believe the South helped educate hip-hop. How do you define Southern hip-hop?
I would say so. You know what I'm saying? Because when it comes to historical value, black historical value, a lot of that was experienced in the South first, like on the, the heinous side, like the gruesome side, like that real up front, like I can't unsee this side. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And with that education, I mean, when I think about the South, I don't think about Atlanta. I don't think about Florida either, because there's an argument that Florida's East Coast. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Pimp C for that. You know what I mean? When I think about the South, I'm thinking about Alabama, Louisiana,
Yep.
Texas, Mississippi. I'm thinking about that area because there's so many stories that resonate from the Delta that it's more hip hop than people were giving them credit for in being hip hop.
Right.
What makes you hip hop, or what makes your sound so credible to the people who look for hip hop music?
The storytelling. You know what I'm saying? And you always know when you hear something, you always know it's coming from a realistic place. But when you done experienced it yourself. And I always try to stick to that vein of music. Like, hey, I don't want to lie to nobody. You know what I'm saying? I've been lied to my whole life just by certain rappers that I might have listened to growing up. And when I found out the truth, I was like, nah, I won't model myself out to be that type of person, because who likes to be lied to? Nobody wants to be lied to on a regular basis. So when it comes to music and you selling music, I'm not going to lie to nobody. Mm-mm.
But the biggest lie that we've been taught was the lie of self and the lie of love. Because most people say they love themselves and don't even like themselves. You know what I'm saying? I mean, let's keep it real. I'm talking to my man Bosswood right now on the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. Thank y'all everybody for listening. I want to ask you a question. What's the most dangerous trait about a liar?
What is it called? Habitual? The habituality of it?
You believe the habituality of a liar is what makes them dangerous?
Mm-hmm. Because you can keep telling it.
Okay. So, well, they got one thing that America is, and that's consistency.
Right.
So that's part of the American dream, is to be consistent. Well, how about this? Billy Danz of MOP once said this: the most dangerous thing about a liar is they're really unhappy with who they are. So they force their fake reality on you so they can be accepted to you because they don't accept themselves.
True.
When it comes to hip hop, and I like how you said that, because you got a song called Facts that talks about this very thing. You talk about being truthful so that your legacy is truth, your influence is truth, and your sound is truth. How do you detect the sound of a lie from the sound of the truth?
How do you detect the sound of a lie from the sound of the truth?
Yep.
Because when you revisit the conversation, the story changes. If you was to like listening to rappers over and over again, a lot of them tend to talk about the same thing. But when they bring it up a second time, it's never like the first. Like when I talk about that lick I hit, I talk about that same lick I hit. That same gun I shot. I talk about it this every time. It's nothing like, I'm not going to paint you a different picture, so to say. If anything, if I'm going to paint you a different picture, it's going to be more in detail.
I like how you said that. So let's go into your truth. What made you want to pick up a microphone and start telling the stories that you tell?
Honest to God, bro, my favorite rapper was Emcee Hammer. And I used to sing Can't Touch This in my car seat. And I got hold to my first albums with explicit albums were Outkast, Stank On You, and Ludacris, Word of Mouth. And when I turned those on, I couldn't turn them off. And I was like, maybe I can do this. And then like going to school and having dope English teachers, they taught me how to use my grammar and stuff like that. So I started getting into poetry, sort of kind of like Tupac. And it just transformed into just like from a spoken word perspective to putting it to an instrumental.
That's why you rhyme the way you rhyme, because you're a very expressive MC.
Definitely.
You're not a rapper. You're an orator.
Definitely.
You come from the line of James Baldwin and Langston Hughes.
Yes, sir.
Because when you rhyme, you're very descriptive and you're very passionate. You're not word playing, you're word placing.
Right.
I like that about your style. Salute to you.
Thank you.
One of the most important things about being word placement driven is the fact that the story has to be told so that the listener can understand. How do you set the template for your story though?
Honestly, I let the beat speak to me. I try to elaborate this to a lot of people. When I hear beats paint their own picture. And it's like the picture's already painted. And it's like it's an outline there. It's just your job. As it talks to you and you talk back, your job is to paint inside the line. Now, you can go outside of them if you want to, but if you stayed inside that line, you'll get a better picture.
Okay, I want to ask you a question because you just said something very interesting. You are a music translator, so you're a scientist as well. Okay.
Yes, sir.
What is the language of music, and how do you translate it to the song?
I see colors.
Okay.
It's colorful. It's like some you could like some beats you put on. I can see leaves falling, or some beats you put on. I can see rain slapping against the window pane, or I can see like sometimes those stories that I tell. I see those stories playing out, but it's me actually, you know what I'm saying, relaying that story that's being told. So it's like almost like a sixth sense, and like words stand out in a sense, like it's a weird way, I can't explain it, but when words stand out, you put this word here and you build around that one word and you form that bar, and all of a sudden everything else starts to fit in like a big jigsaw puzzle, and before you know it, it's moving.
Did you know that's like a mental, I'm not going to say it's a mental gift. Did you know they write books about that?
Yes.
Do you know the name of it?
No. But I'll be into it though. I'll be on YouTube a lot. I do a lot of research on YouTube.
Okay. I was actually looking it up as we were talking, because yes, that's what's called. Synesthesia.
Mm-hmm.
Synesthesia is called a live science. It means the data that's transformed into your brain turns into a colorful swirl.
Right.
Synesthesia is one of the few things that most artists don't have. So you're in a weird line of creativity. So let me walk you down this journey. You want to take a ride? Want to take a ride with me?
Yes, sir. I'm in the car.
Okay. So in the Victorian era, when people made music, they did it with wind. So there was a person who actually put a bottle outside, and then that's how they captured the whisper sound. Because they had a milk bottle, and they caught the sound, and then they started forming things to make the wind sound more prominent. Right? Think about this.
Right.
Now you had the person who was knitting clothes, and that's when the string era came. So while everybody in today's society focuses on the guitar, the sitar was actually something that was very big in other countries. You're still in the car with me, right?
Yes.
So let's go to the classical era. Beethoven could not see and could not hear, but the rhythm of life and the rhythm of music made him create some of the most incredible symphonic melodies ever recorded. Am I right?
Right.
Okay. Keep driving with me right now. Ray Charles, Miles Davis, Stevie Wonder. I'll even tell you somebody else, Duke Ellington. I'm going jazz now. And I'm not putting any ladies in there because I don't know their story, so forgive me. Anybody who wants to know about women, I'm sorry, I don't know. They didn't create music off of what they heard. They created music off of what they felt. That's why like Songs in the Key of Life is a classic, because it was feeling music, not hearing music.
Right.
Now that brings me down to you. Because the gift of an MC, KRS-One said, is to rap about somebody's life, their own life to them, instead of rapping about your life to them.
Right.
So by you seeing colors, you're also seeing the story of somebody's revelation of life. What do the colors reveal to you that you think they get from your sight?
What do they reveal to me? I ain't got that far. I ain't got that far yet. You
have. I challenge you on that. You have. And we're going to talk about that on the new album, Premeditated 2, which is out right now that everybody can stream. But as you know, for those who listen to Heritage Hip Hop, we do not believe in streaming. We believe in purchasing. But we'll get there. We'll get there later. But you are there. Let's talk about it.
Definitely.
Let's talk about it. Let me go to one of my songs on the album that I really enjoy, by the way. You know what? We're not. We're going to focus on something out right now that's everybody expects us to do. You have a single out now with Big K.R.I.T, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Spaceship.
Now on that song, Spaceships, right? Tell me the hook, and I'm going to show you how you have it. Tell me the hook.
We just trying to make it out the bottom of the basement. Hell yeah, and turn a bucket to a spaceship.
Okay. So you don't see that if you saw that color of elevation, that most people don't want to live the life of elevation? That's why people get high, because they're stuck at the bottom, correct?
Right.
Okay, so think about that. Think about I got a job and I need a raise. I need to get higher on the totem pole. How about that?
Right.
Now, how about this? What about the person that says, F money, I don't need status. I just want to live and give something as a legacy to my people. They ain't elevated from the social norm.
Right.
You got there, bro. There it is right there.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
Salute to you, bro. That's what I'm talking about, man.
Hey, teamwork make the dream work.
Hey, man, you making it happen. So rhymes and patterns are what dictate how good a writer is. Because in the past, we called it stanzas and we called it, what was poetry? Poetry goes by the syllables, and haiku, and it goes, let me just say stanzas, by the rhyme scheme.
Right.
There's a movie out that says, rhymes, bars over rhymes or rhymes over bars. I forgot which one it is. The RZA did it with Jill Scott and Common with I forgot the Zelia Banks chick, right? And that whole movie was about how poetry supersedes hip hop. Do you agree? Because you have a poet's delivery, but you got a hip hop subject. What do you think?
Definitely. I agree. Because if you turn that beat off, it should hit you a little harder. You know what I'm saying? When you hearing that acapella, it should resonate more. The beat just give you something to bounce to. You know what I'm saying? But if you were to hear the same message without a beat behind it and not so much cadence driven, it'll drive a different vein.
Was that Mississippi taught or was that life experience acquired?
Experience. I just picked up on an experience. I've never liked the quote unquote bubblegum rappers. I've never gave them like the time of day. I always wanted to like master something. Like I feel like when it came to wordplay, I wanted to master it. It was like it was my thing. Like, you know, everybody had basketball and football and all these other things, and I just chose words. And I was like, yeah, I got to be the best at this if I'm gonna pursue this. And I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? I put my 10,000 hours in. I consider myself a master.
Yeah, you're a genius. You're a genius because everybody thinks genius comes from a book, but it doesn't. Genius also always comes from learning experience and things that you acquire over time. Time is the genius. Action exercises genius. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
What was the hardest thing about rhyming? Was it being listened to or being heard from your point of view?
Oh, that's a great question because listening and hearing is two totally different things. I would say hearing, bro. I would say hearing because you can always have someone to listen and just, you know, big you up. But are you hearing me? Like, does that resonate with you in some type of way? Hearing me is the answer.
You know what's funny? Depending on what side of the country you come from, some people think hearing is listening and listening is hearing. And I understand everything. So I get you because a person can sit down and listen to the song, but they're not hearing the translation that you've given, then they're missing the point.
Right.
In science, mathematics is the one purest language that they try to hide from people of color. Do you know why?
No.
Because mathematics is the interpretation of the equation of life. Now, let's go into your rhyme pattern. Subject, flow, story, outcome, consequence, make your mind up at the end. That's how most of your songs are built.
Right. I
listened to Premeditated, right? And there's a song on Premeditated that really got me stuck. The name of the song is called, I don't want to go to facts right now. Let's talk about Be Great.
Be Great.
Remember, you're building the structure of the song. Mathematically, you're not coming with the I'm the MC, this is what I got to say, nod your head to this, nod your head to this. You're like, no, I'm the MC, and this is what it is. Now, where do you find yourself in context of what I'm talking about? That's math.
Right.
Why is it important for you to bring the listener into your world so they can see themselves in their world?
Because that picture, like the picture that's being painted in the mind, you can't necessarily, you're not given the chance to see it with the eyes when listening. So I try to be vivid with my words to paint it in your mind to build that relationship within you through song. Like, damn, I went through that, or I saw that within someone, or I'm currently going through that, or I overcame that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like that, like just being upfront with people. I always said, I'm sorry to get off topic, but I always said, I wish we came with name tags. Hi, my name is Bosswood, and I'm such and such, and I'm such and such, and I'm such and such. Would you like to deal with me? You know what I'm saying? It'll make things that much easier.
But isn't that the most scariest thing that people are afraid of? Because people love when people are transparent.
Right.
Because they're nosy, not because they want to be themselves.
Right.
That's why I like your music. We're going to continue on this, everybody. Thank you for listening to Heritage Hip Hop Podcast tonight. This is K.R.I.T, your host with the illustrious, soon-to-be GOAT, Bosswood. If you really pay attention now. On your album, like I said, it's mathematically sound. I'm going to ask you a question. 1 + 1 equals what?
2.
How come 1 + 1 can't equal 1?
It's not mathematically possible? Oh,
it is.
1 plus 1 plus -1.
Not even that. If one man and one woman make one child, if one man and one woman could create one family,
right,
or one spirit, one man, and one ideal can create God, which is one. How come one man can't put out or take one beat and create one message?
You just blew my mind, bro.
Hey, man, this is what I get from you. I got this from your music. Come on, talk to me now. So I'm saying 1 + 1 can equal 3.
Definitely.
Because there's an entity. You are mind, body, and soul, which is one man or one living vessel, correct?
Yes, sir.
So when you think of self, you have me, myself, and I, right? Which is one man.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, prosperity is given to the man who has perspective.
Right.
Why did you take the perspective on learning the world, or having the world learn who you are with an album called Premeditated?
Why did I take the perspective? Because everything I put in motion it has to have structure to it, as I would hope everyone does. It comes with a plan, you know what I'm saying? And premeditation, the definition of it is planned out, it's orchestrated, it's organized. So as I organize my thoughts and get them together for the world, I want to make sure my plan is foolproof. You know what I'm saying? And that's currently what we're going through now. And I'm able to shine like on the back end with my managers and stuff, and they're actually getting to see who I am outside of the studio. And they're like, yeah, he's not regular. I like, just give me time, just let me speak, and I'll show it to you.
Okay. So premeditated because it's planned out.
Right.
Tell me about first name, last name.
First name, last name. That was my definition. That you did your research, bro. Hey, this is my favorite interview. Hey, first name, last name. That was my footprint. I ain't gonna even count. That was my footprint to just being who I am and just standing firm on who I am. Because everybody, when it comes to rap, a lot of people have this persona of who they are in this world versus who they are in reality. And a lot of people can blend the two. I'm him, this guy, on and off the microphone. My first name Sam, last name what I lay inside your bushes, meaning wood. You know what I'm saying? That's my real name. So stepdad at the time, yeah, that was what? Wow.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what I got from it. Everybody's gonna interview you about your music and talk about how your flow is or how your cadence is, right? I need to know what your heart is, because Jay Electronica said one of the most fascinating lines that Biggie said first. Jay Electronica said, "I hear you, but I can't feel you. Not familiar." What did Biggie say in Machine Gun Funk? He said, this ain't Christopher Williams, Emcee Scott. I'm trying to remember the line. Pardon me. My mind don't work like it used to. But basically, it's about you rhyming, but that it's not. I can't feel you. Something's not familiar with what you're talking about.
Right.
The most familiar spirit about an orator is that they're not speaking to who you think you are. They're speaking to your essence. What is the essence of the MC, and how do you capture it?
The essence of the MC. Oh man, the essence of the MC. Man, the persona that I give it, it's like it's an image. It's like, oh my God, but like it's like a alter ego, so to say. For me, it's like this warrior. And when I say like it's like a warrior, like almost like Sparta 300. That's how I see myself. You know what I'm saying? Like Gladiator with the scars to prove it. You can see it. And it's so vivid, bro. And I see that same figure every time I turn a beat on. Like, I'm finna get ready to face this guy. I got to be better than him today. You know what I'm saying? But it's low key me looking at myself. I got to be better than myself, than my version of myself yesterday. I got to be better today.
So you rhyme to beat yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
That is a very interesting perspective. Okay. You're going to make me flip my interview. Salute to you. That was dope. We're going to go into some history right now. Salute to Boss Woods, because he actually got me on my toes and on my game today. Because
salute to you, bro.
Oh, no, we do. I told you, we make history. I told you, right?
Yes, sir.
So, you got me on my toes right now. So, in a boxing match, I'm up against the ropes. So now I'm looking at you, and I'm gonna come and hit you with this right here. James Baldwin wrote "I'm Not Your Negro" to tell the American public about how he's not what you think he should be, right?
Right.
You did the same thing. Tell me about Inspired by Don Tripp. Who were you telling the world who you are?
Man, that was my first major feature. And I was like, hey, I was going to originally, I had never told this story. I was originally going to lead the song as is with my verse that was already on it, because on Premeditated 1, Inspired by Don Tripp, he's always been my favorite rapper. And you can't say his name without saying Starlito, the Step Brothers. But he's always been my favorite rapper. And when I reached out to him, well, I didn't reach out to him. The people did. The CEOs did. They DM'd him, was like, hey, this guy wrote a song about you, man, and just paying you homage. And he listened to it, and he was like, bro, you made me proud. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that. And I was like, thank you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for your contribution to hip-hop. And then he put a post up saying that he was doing features. I was like, yeah, that's my calling card. Let me get him on the song, and let me get him on that song. So I was going to leave my verse the way it was and just get him on the front. And then I was like, I'm going to cheat myself. I've never been in a hot seat with a rapper that has crossed that line of whatever that line is. I've never been in that hot seat before. Let me put myself in it. I locked in my room for like 8 hours. And I sat there and I built that verse, like bar for bar. I'm talking about 5 minutes between every line just to make sure it hit perfect. I sat there and I put myself through all that mental pressure, and I came out over the top, bro. It was beautiful. It was beautiful, bro.
I like that. So you taught the world that you're not the average MC, that you're planned. You're premeditated.
Right. Exactly.
I'm feeling that. But the cover art of that project says something different. Why did you choose that cover art? What was the image behind the words?
Premeditated 1 or 2?
1.
Premeditated 1. It was industrial. It was like an industrial site, and basically signifying that when you look at a building, you go and purchase your first business. It's not that eye candy. You know what I'm saying? It's that in the rough, that diamond in the rough. But you see your name on the outside of that building saying Boss Woods such and such. But only you can see that. And I put that rough looking building right there to signify we all have to start from somewhere. No matter where that place may be and no matter what time we may be in, as long as you got a foundation to stand on, be proud of what you built. You feel what I'm saying? Boy, oh my God, I love this interview.
Salute to you. All right. But I think subliminally you're telling a different story as well. Because your growth as an MC actually stands firm in the cover art for your new project, Premeditated 2. let's talk about that for a second, because you said industrial, which is something that you build with your hands.
Mm-hmm.
After you build with your hands, you show to the world. And on the next album, you have a person sitting in front of a wall that says your favorite, what was it? Your favorite rapper
Died here.
died here.
Back.
So you're letting people know I built this thing. Now I got to show you who I am. And lyrically, you grew between the two albums.
Definitely.
A lot. You grew a lot. And you know how I can tell you grew a lot? Because on the first album, you were telling the world you could rap. But on this album, you were explaining to the world you're inner man.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think so many MCs don't get to that part? Or so many are, I can't say MCs. Let me say this different, because I don't think there's a lot of MCs. I think there's not a lot of artists. There's a lot of rappers. A lot of rappers don't get to that point where they want to get their inner man out. They want to play the role so people can ride with them and dick ride, pardon my language. Why was it important for you to introduce your inner man so that people see that you're more than the industrial thing and that you're built up now?
All that went into winning the Big K.R.I.T challenge, the Glorious challenge he put out on Instagram. Everybody started to like really tap in because of that situation. And man, I'm talking about 2,000 followers, probably 2,500 overnight after just winning that little Instagram situation. And I was like, wow. So immediately I got back in album mode. I was like, I got to drop another one. I'm way better than I was last time, but I got to do it now. You know what I'm saying? Like while the iron is hot. And I was like, okay, cool. So I went through, picked all my beats, and I just went to writing. And before you know it, it's like, once you in that zone, you can't tap out. And then everybody starts to tap in. And it's like, hold on a second. And so an opportunity presented itself for me to come to California based off the K.R.I.T challenge. And so, boom, I came out here, I recorded a couple songs, and these boys didn't want to let me leave. So I was like, man, listen, I got to get this. I got to get it out. So, boom, I put it out. And that was my whole motive behind that, to show people, because everybody started to call me K.R.I.T 2.0. I didn't take too well to it, but I was like, okay, let me live in it just a tad, because K.R.I.T is a credible artist. He's dope. That's a dope comparison. I look up to him, but at the same time, I don't want to stand in that light. So let me level up in my pen to show people why I'm different.
Okay. Let's play ping pong. We're gonna go back and forth. So on the new single, what did you show the world that made you different from him? Besides your art?
Being that we're both from Mississippi and we both have like a similar cadence and way with words, I just wanted to like really bar them up, so to say, in good competition. Let me put that in there. But I just wanted to bar them up, man, and just show people the world, because right now in the time that we living in, rappers is killing rappers, and they from the same city. I'm from where he's from, and we're able to coexist, no problem. That's my big dog, and I love him to death, and I appreciate him for what he did, because outside of Don Tripp, I would want to say he has a bigger platform than Tripp does now. So he gave me the bigger shot, and I'm like, hey, let's do it for the home team.
Word. I got to give K.R.I.T a lot of respect, because I follow his career, and he has like at least 2 or 3 classic albums.
Definitely.
And with no push from Def Jam, that man made a mark in hip hop that I think if you really tapped into the culture, you know who he is and you respect what he did.
Definitely. He got me through so many hard times.
Like what? Talk about it.
Man, right out of high school, you know, so I had just came home from jail, and K.R.I.T was just starting to bubble, and we would ride around in my aunt's car, and we would go to McDonald's, and we would take this $5, and we would split this $5 on the dollar menu, and on the way back, we wouldn't come straight home. We would listen to K.R.I.T. I want to say what it was. I think it was K.R.I.T was here, and it was a mixtape he had out at the time. But we listening and we turning it up loud and just blasting like, bro, we're going to get out of here one day. You know what I'm saying? He kept me sane, bro. And I want to tell him that to his face. Like, I've never met him, but it's on him and Don Tripp and Starlito. I want to talk to them boys personally and tell them, like, that they got me through some stuff, bro, because at the time, we was in a dark place. Anything could have happened due to the fact of not having the funds. But they kept me driven and kept my pen moving for what it was and helped me develop and push through.
Send this interview to them, and they'll meet you. We're gonna put it in the air that they're gonna meet you one day, and y'all gonna actually exchange words on a good level. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So salute to K.R.I.T, Starlito, and Don Tripp, and y'all are always welcome to come on Heritage Hip Hop yourselves. You know.
Definitely.
Let's focus back on you though, because we're not going to focus on them. This is your interview, and I want the world to know that Q&A is a monster. Talk about that, Steve.
Man, I was in a 6-year relationship, bro, and we were turned. We were turned, bro. And like I said, I try to keep it on the front. You know, I try to keep it real in everything I do. And I just told the story. And side note, she tried to role play. She wanted to get into role playing, and I didn't want to. But in my mind, I had the capability to do it. So I played that out in my mind and then wrote the song and let her hear it, and we actually ended up doing it in real life.
And what was the outcome?
Success.
So at the end of the day, you speaking life into existence.
Definitely.
So then how does how it play out become a realism rhyme instead of a rhyme put on paper?
Oh, man, that was my life. Like, man, that's one of those bottles with a message in it floating at sea that you randomly find with somebody's life story on it. That's my story, bro. Oh, my God. I had to be every bit of 4 years old. I remember that vividly. You know what I'm saying? My
Stepdad and everything.
No, it was my real dad.
That was real dad. Okay, and you said in the story, for everybody who doesn't know, the song... Give me 1 second, because my notes, I just lost my notes. You see, I take notes. The song, how it plays out, is on Premeditated 2, The Motive, which is out right now on all streaming services. But we believe in purchasing, so make sure you go buy the song, if not the album itself. On the song, you talked about how mom had to run after you, like, yo, that's my child. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely, bro. I remember that. You remember as a kid, you used to they used to put you in the nightgowns and they was your mom's or your dad's t-shirts and you had the little tighty whities on up underneath. Yeah. I was that little dude. And he came through late night. You know what I'm saying? He came to see me, but in the midst of him coming to see me, they got into it. And so he stormed out the door. So in the midst of him storming out the door, she chasing him. Like, where you going with my son? Where you going with my son? And they start cursing at each other. So he put me in the car. He had like a gray Oldsmobile. I forgot what it was. But it was a gray Oldsmobile, 2-door. And he pulling out the driveway, and they cursing at each other more and more. So he irks off, and we get down the street. No cap. It had to be every bit of 2 to 3 minutes. We didn't even get like a mile down the road. Police had already pulled him over, guns drawn and everything. And they snatched him out the car. My mom ran down the street. Her and my grandma came and got me and walked me back to the house. They ended up letting him go. And they asked my mom, did she want to put a restraining order on him? And she said, nah, just let him go home. I just wanted to make sure I got my son back. And honest to God, bro, that was the last day I saw my dad. I had to be every bit of 4 years old.
Stories like that, what makes hip hop what it is, bro.
Definitely.
I don't even know where to come up with something outside of that. Just to know that, yo, I just reflecting on that and putting that out there is very deep within itself, you know?
Yeah, vulnerability, man. I feel like with music, I have to. You deal with so much on a daily, and a lot of people don't know how to express themselves when it comes to just putting it out there just to relieve themselves, and that's what rap does for me. To this day, it keeps me out of a lot of trouble, bro.
You know what's unappreciated right now? See,
what's that?
People from your generation gets compared to the generation that came before you 2 times over, which is the 90s. Right? And in the 90s, there was a machine that actually built up artists to put them out. Today, we get to see the artists grow in front of our faces in real time.
Fact.
So if you're not trying to appreciate where they come from, you're not going to appreciate where they're going. And a lot of what you're telling me and showing in your music as you're talking to me is that life is elevating and you're walking down this path and you're inviting everybody to come, but you know everybody's not going to walk with you. That's what we did the hearing and listening thing. I want to flip that another way and ask you this question. Wow, how do I put this? Let me put this together the right way, because this is a real serious question I want to ask you. When you write, what's more expressive for you? The beat that makes you reflect or the beat that makes you dream?
The beat that makes you reflect.
Why?
Because when you're able to reflect, you're able to go through your emotions. I write everything is channeled through an emotion. That's why no song is the same. And I feel like it shouldn't be that way for any artist, because you know how artists have this certain vein that they work in. When you hear them, that you hear that on the radio or on your TV screens and stuff like that. But can you hear them do something else? And why haven't they tried to do something else? And I write from that emotional standpoint and reflective standpoint, because I'm a human being. I'm not a robot. You know what I'm saying? I want to try to always paint that picture or remember a time or take you back in time to a place where your life was just full of simplicity before it got to where it is now. You know what I'm saying? Being an adult. Like I talked to you about being a kid. I talked to you even about being an adult, or from a stepdad's perspective, or from being a child. You know what I'm saying? Your mother's child at the time and stuff like that. So, man, cycling through those emotions, bro, before the song is written, I done probably cried. I done probably got pissed off and walked away from the pad. I done probably laughed and cracked a joke and made a phone call like, hey, you remember this? And just going through it, and then all of a sudden that conversation that I had with that person reflected to the music. It's dope, bro. It's a whole process.
I like that you said that, because you know what I hate about what MCs do nowadays? Not MCs, I'm sorry, rappers. You know what I hate what they do nowadays? This is what they do. I ain't even had to write it. I just went in the booth, knocked it out, and I left. Not knowing that the paper and the pen is the greatest tool that ever elevated society and creativity within itself.
Facts.
Now, I'm going to go somewhere kind of wild, but you're going to bring me back.
Okay.
We're back in the days of the hieroglyphic, where people use emojis to give messages. That's what makes hip-hop so powerful, that if you write your words and you copyright your words, the message lives forever, so that you could paint pictures for somebody when they read it.
Facts.
Why do you think so many people give up the paper for the emotion instead of having the paper to give emotion?
Fast pace of life. People in that realm, they living too fast. They moving too quick. And I appreciate the decompression. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I write in the middle of the day, but I spend most of my writing at night. You know what I'm saying? When I'm writing at night, I done been in process my whole 24. Now I'm reflecting, but I just so happen to put a beat on. Now I'm reflecting on paper. So as I live my life through my day to day, I'm putting it back into the world with the lesson that I've learned or the mistake that I've made, to give it to you, to where when you run into this mistake or this hurdle, you'll know how to jump it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. You know what works? You know what works for you that most people haven't gotten yet? And you said it in the beginning of your interview. You matured very fast.
Yeah.
So your eye and your ear is very clear. Your motivation is very premeditated, but it's the rhythm of life that's going to dictate how you shuffle and how you move. But you're gonna make it. And the reason why I have so much confidence in you, the reason why I do is not how you make your music, it's how you pronounce who you are. Tell me what IBDT means.
Oh, that's inspired by Don Trip.
And there you go right there. So like I said, everybody, when you tell the truth, like we said in the beginning of the interview, when you tell the truth and you're not lying, not only do you follow the path, but you show the world who you really are. And that's why Premeditated 2 is such a good album, is because not only is it a reflection of where he's come from, but he's also telling you where you are and where you can go by listening to the words. You agree?
Definitely.
Hey, man, so give everybody your social media and let's have some fun.
All righty. Y'all can follow me on any social media platform at I Am Boss Wood. Be sure to visit www.iambosswood.com for the latest merch.
I'm personally going to buy something from you because you stood out to me this year. It's been only, I'm going to keep it real with you. This year, outside of my home state, there's only really been about 2 or 3 people that really stood out to me, and you are definitely one of them. So salute to you. And you saw I posted the album today.
Yes, sir.
Because when I went through my notes, I was like, why didn't you put this up? I'm bugging. You know what I'm saying? So I had to make sure I put it out there. And, you know, for everybody who watches Heritage Hip Hop, we're not only in the United States, we're international. I pray that you get that international buzz and more people check out your music and you get just as big as you want to be and change the lives that you want to affect. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Big shout out to Canada. Canada is one of the biggest, one of the second biggest countries that's streaming spaceships right now on Spotify. Yes, sir.
Hey, Canada, y'all fucking up. Buy it. All right, so there we go right there. All right. So before I go to the next part of our interview, I have to say this. Forgive me, I said it 2 times already, maybe 3. But Heritage Hip Hop does not believe in streaming. We just came from an era. No, we're going through an era right now in Texas where the infrastructure of power fell out, and people do not have power, which means if you don't own something, you can lose it.
Facts.
If Boss Wood has music that you like, buy it. Because if the infrastructure ever went down and you need a song to help get you through, if you don't buy it and you're streaming it, you don't really have it. So please, buy the music and assure him by the love by putting income into his pocket so he can give you more music to help you through your hard times, to help you celebrate when you're in your high times. You agree?
Definitely.
Amen. And that's what we take it. So right now we're going to go to the second part of our interview, which is called the rapid fire questions. You ready to have some fun?
Yes, sir. I'm ready.
All right, the rapid fire questions are not yes, no questions. These are questions that talk about your understanding of hip hop culture and who you are as a person, and you share that with the audience. So here we go. Question number 1. What song or album from another artist perfectly describes you?
Ooh, that's a good question. Outkast, Think on You.
Okay. They go, ooh, okay. That's all right. So beats dictate your life, basically.
Yes, sir.
I'm with you. All right. Question number 2. Who was the rapper that made you sit down and raise your pen game because you weren't as nice as you thought until you heard him?
That's a good question. It's several, bro. Don Tripp, Starlito, because of his tone of voice. If his tone of voice, it's lazy, and if you lack listening, you'll miss the bar. So Starlito, Rick Ross, because when he doing that Maybach music, it's so elegant, and he'll like take it to like a hood, like raunchy. It's like a dusty Rolls Royce, low key, and I love that. Nas will paint you a picture that will blow you away. Tupac was a real radical, and he gave it to you like point blank, driven. Mob Squad Nard, coming out of Jacksonville, Florida. I love him.
He's on your album.
Yes, definitely. He's been putting it down for a long time, and he got bars out this world too. And that'll be all.
Okay, I like where you're going with that. So then, let's flip it, because he's on your album. In the history of hip-hop, features were something special. I think it's overdone now. But that's another thing I like about you. You don't do a lot of features. You know how to carry an album on your own, so salute to you for that.
Appreciate it.
But there's songs that people get on and they steal the song from the main artist. That feature artist will kick their ass on their own song. Who in hip-hop history has the best feature to you?
Who has the best? Andre 3000 on When 16 Ain't Enough. Okay. And the UGK.
I thought International Players Anthem, yeah.
International Players Anthem. And on Beyonce's, I forgot what it was, but he was on Beyonce's song. Retarded, bro. Retarded.
Yeah, Andre 3000 is amazing.
Facts.
And he doesn't want to rap anymore because he feels he's too old to rap. How about that?
He feel like he don't have nothing to say, and I'm gonna get to that place because low key I'm finna hit you with it. I'm vegetarian. He went vegan, but I'm vegetarian, and I went vegetarian strictly to tap into the mindset that he had.
What is the
He told
difference?
me.
Tell me, what's the difference since you did it?
Bro, it's more clearly like ideas don't seem so forced. Like when I was eating meat, it's like after penning out a verse, I got a headache. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I'm working my brain like in overdrive. But now, since I went vegan, ideas form and fall out of thin air, and before you know it, the second verse is already there. I just got to write it down. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, cool. Boom, pin it out. They put on another beat. We in California, we went to the studio. I went from room to room, from Studio A to Studio B. I felt like Pac and All Eyes on Me when he went out and did Ambitions of a Rider and California Love. I felt just like that, bro. And it was effortless.
Sidebar. Let's have a life lesson. I'm going to show you how flavorful what you said was, because what you just talked about, what you explained was life. Now,
right.
You said you stopped putting death in you and you put life in you and you elevated to the point where you were able to live more abundantly, right?
Right.
What are trees for?
Trees are for oxygen.
What is grass for?
Grass is for oxygen.
Exactly. So the Most High made life so abundant for you that he made sure you had air above you and air below you to sustain you right in the middle.
Right.
So by putting that life in you, what did you do? You reflected the life that he gave you. Salute.
Facts.
Simplicity.
Yes, sir. That's the word of the day right there.
So let's go to our next question. What is the best hip-hop beat of all time?
Grinding. Grinding.
Oh, you already know. I didn't even have to say it.
Grinding the clips.
So when I'm going to get you a free... I'm going to get something with you on clips. What's up? When I'm going to get a grinding beat what you wanted. What's up?
Man, I'm going to do it. Just because you said it, I'm going to do it.
And send it to me so I can put it on my website. Word. I want that. Word. All right. I didn't even have to finish the damn question. He already knew what he was on.
Yep. That got you through middle school right there.
Yeah, Grindr was a classic when it came out. I can't even front.
Facts.
Okay, so my next question would be, let's take it to the creative stage. If you could create your perfect song, who, if you want features, who are you working with on your song, and who's producing the song, dead or alive, no restrictions?
Oh man, I'm finna name my people too. I'm gonna put Pyro on the beat. That's my dog. Been my dog since high school, man. We came up together. I'm talking about from the mud. But I'm gonna put Pyro on the beat. I'm gonna go and get Akeem Ali coming from Mississippi. I'm gonna get David Banner on the hook, and I'm gonna grab the second verse.
Okay. He built his
Call
perfect
it a Holy
song.
Trinity.
Well, you put it out there. Now you got to make it happen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, that's what we do. We make history on Heritage Hip Hop. We speak it into existence. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm glad you had some fun. How you feeling the interview? Did we do what we supposed to do? We all right?
Yes, sir, man. Hey, man, no cap, bro. This is my favorite interview, bro.
Glad I was able to do that. But the interview was inspired by you. So before we close out with the final 3 questions, I want to say thank you for your contribution to hip hop and stay true to it, because not only are you damn good at it, you've gained my respect. And everybody knows for me to get on a playlist or something with me, for me to co-sign you, that's very big, because I'm a very hard listener of hip hop. And I will tell you the truth. If your shit was whack, I would have told you. But you have a very, 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 very excellent album that I can't call it a classic yet. I got to hear it a couple more times, but you got some songs that really fucked me up and I had to sit down and listen to a couple times. So I want to give you salute respect for that. You know?
I can't wait for you to hear the next one, bro. I'm talking about I got some real tearjerkers on it.
Well, check this out. Heritage Hip Hop is not bougie. So if you ever want to come back to Heritage Hip Hop, it's an open door policy. All you got to do is have good music and the story. The microphone's here. All you got to do is just sit down and talk with me, and we got you. All right?
Definitely. I'm going to do that.
Just keep me on your mind. All right? So
yes,
for the final 3 questions, let's have some fun. And one of the questions is this: what is the most important thing hip hop has not said that you're waiting for it to say?
Ownership is important.
So entrepreneur hip hop is what we need.
Yes.
Now
Very much
Jay-Z's
so.
been doing that for years. So who else should do it, you think?
I feel like that's just one person. I feel like everybody should have their hand in it. You know what I'm saying? Like their career.
Mm-hmm.
Like me, for example, I'm finna be 31 Friday. I got
Salute.
my LLC. I got my publishing company. I got my name trademark. I got my record label. I own my masters. I'm buying all my beats. And I'm shopping with my friends. I'm empowering others as I empower myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm seeking ownership and putting it into the world. So when every dollar gets turned over, it's getting turned over into those hands of the people that I love and grew up with and that I trust. And I'm working with everybody on a family built foundation. I feel like everybody should do that. You know what I'm saying? Like when I do my first tour, I don't want anybody at my merch table selling the merch. I want my dog on it. You want to rap? You don't have the spotlight yet? Cool. Here go a box of flash drives, put all your music on it, sell this merch, throw your music in there for free. Let's split this merch table 50-50. You just got paid to give your music away.
So at the end of the day, you are a true entrepreneur and a hustler. So I'm going to take one of my questions back and go off of what you said. You want to build an industry through your music.
Yes.
Starting from music, give me 3 other industries you want to conquer that keeps not only your music relevant, but the community working and eating against the norm of the stigma that so-called black folks are lazy?
Oh, that's a dope question because we in the middle of doing something else right now. We're in the middle of trying to build a halfway house.
Nice.
To bestow the privilege of a second chance. That's the image that I want to paint within that. A second chance. Because living life, you're not going to always be on your toes and always maintain your square. You're going to step outside of that square every now and then. But when it's time for you, when you realize that you need that correction and people to believe in you again, who's going to do that knowing that you've stepped outside of that line? Somebody has to. Like, we all need that. You know what I'm saying? And we seek God in a lot of those situations, but what a lot of people fail to realize is God said, I made you in my image. So therefore, we are God-like. So be that second chance, be that helping hand for somebody else in need, man, and I really want to do that for people.
Salute to you. I don't want to get off your interview, but I just did an interview with a gentleman who works with a non-profit record label to help people retransition back into society. Started a rap group in prison, and it actually stopped his rap group from changing lives because he made too much of a positive message. So be careful. I want you to do what you got to do, and salute to you. But you also got to give me 2 more industries. That's one.
That's one. Okay, boom. I want to do something with kids in college. I want to start a tuition to be able to give those kids of misfortunate families a fighting chance at a higher education, because now you need a diploma to flip a burger at McDonald's. Who's to say in the next 5 to 10 years they won't transition into a degree? You know what I'm saying? Like, and a lot of kids are living their life so head first and so gun ho. Like, education is the furthest thing from their mind right now. Like, they focus on girls and, you know, doing grown people stuff. And hey, you're going to need that because you're going to need to survive out here. You can't live with Mom Dukes forever, or even if you are able to live with Mom Dukes forever, you're going to have to contribute. So put your mind to use, and where your body can't do, your mind can.
That's why the brain is the most important muscle that you have to exercise. Straight up. Read every day, everybody. So that's 2. There one more?
Let's see.
I mean, if not, it's cool.
No, yeah. I want to start some type of mentor like a Big Brother program for people that want to become artists, to help them better understand the business, because I don't always make the right decisions, and as I make my mistakes and learn from them, I'm always reaching back to give those tools. but not everybody's asking for those tools. But I want to be able to give people access to that information to pay it forward to make that next guy have a fighting chance at selling his music or giving him a platform to say, I want to start my own promo run and stuff like that, and teaching them how and giving them the lessons and showing them the steps on what to look for, what not to look for, who to talk to and who not to talk to.
Okay. Salute to you. I like that. The second to last question for this interview is this one. It's a loaded question, so I'm going to ask you a question to set it up. How important are words?
Words are very important because words can either heal or hurt people.
With the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan being blackballed from all social media.
Definitely.
And with him always having a message of upliftment being suppressed, yet we have a movement where people want people to take medicine to get inoculated, and they'll push that fear and that sickness rhetoric out. How important is it for a MC, a rapper, music artist, singer, period, to reflect life in the times in which they're living?
It's very important because all eyes are on you, not just musicians, but athletes and or celebrities like actors and stuff like that. We built this platform to put eyes on us for to pay us, but what are you giving the people back in return? Because you sitting here, you 50 years old and you looking like you 35. You haven't aged in the last 20 years. What are you putting in your body that I'm not? I got grays everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to know. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, bro. That's boy. I love this interview. I can't stop saying it.
Well, I'm thankful that you liked it, because we've come to the final question, and as much as I like talking to you, I even want to meet you one day, shake your hand and say thank you for your contribution. It has to end, unfortunately. So before we go, I want to say may the Most High bless you and your family so that you don't succumb or fall to any disease, sickness, violence, or plan that the enemy can have against you. May you live, prosper, and bless those who you touch. All right?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, and you as well.
Thank you. So the final question of your first interview, because like I said, you're always looking to come back. The first interview always ends with this question. In about 300 to 500 years, when we're no longer here, we're in the ether, building with the Most High in the universe. The name Boss Woods is going to be in the Hip Hop Hall of Fame, and a child is going to walk up with their parent and say, "Who was that?" And they're going to push a red button, and your hologram is going to come out. It could be in 7D. We don't know. But it's going to pop out the wall, and they're going to play some of your music, and you're going to be reintroduced to a new ear generations from now. The most important question of the first interview I have for you is, what is the legacy that you leave behind that made the world better because you made hip-hop music?
Following through. Staying true. That's the best thing I could give it, bro. Following through and staying true. When that hologram pop out, I want to take them on the journey, bro. I want to show them where it started. I want to show them how I got here, and I want to show them what it looked like when I hung it up, bro. Oh my God, that's gonna be beautiful.
So at the end of the day, everybody that's listening, support Boss Woods and be true to yourself, because you make the world better by telling your story. It's written in the Bible that you are the light of the world, and He did not make your light for you to hide it under a bushel, but to go on top of a mountain like a lighthouse, so you could guide everybody not only to Him but to your truth and teach them the truth of themselves and their purposes. Definitely. This is K.R.I.T from Heritage Hip Hop with Boss Woods, and we say peace, and we out.
We out.
Real hip hop exists everywhere, and shout out to my people in Mississippi. Boss Wood is a credible artist, and his new project is dope. Premeditated 2 is dope. Y'all go get that. That man is serious out there. So from us to y'all out there, thank you to Boss Wood for allowing us to do this interview, and we hope you enjoyed it. Thank you to everybody who supports Heritage Hip Hop. This episode is brought to you by heritagehiphop.com. We are more than music. We ask that you please follow us at heritagehiphop.com for great interviews, podcasts, music, and more. Shout out to MJ's Hip Hop Connects for the blogs too, because she supports the movement as well. Shout out to the Fleet DJs and the Heat DJs. We are also sponsored by Transparent Credit Repair, the superheroes of the financial literacy and credit repair world. 15 seconds is all it takes. Go to heritagehiphop.com and click the link and change your financial future by filling out the application and getting 20% off of all services given by Transparent Credit Repair. Open your wallet to more income instead of paying out more debt by going to heritagehiphop.com and clicking on Transparent Credit Repair. Let them know we sent you, of course. We'd like to give a shout out to all the people who helped make this possible. Shout out to Fatty's Place, Fire Jaws, Lex. Shout out to A Squad Rebel Radio. Shout out to MJ's Hip Hop's Connect. Shout out to the Fleet DJs, the Heat DJs, the artists that come with Heritage Hip Hop, those who donate, and you. If you'd like to help Heritage Hip Hop grow, you could donate at Cash App, $ Heritage Hip Hop, or you could buy merch at storefrontier.com/Heritage Hip Hop. Heritage Hip Hop is also on BoomUit, BOOMUITT.com, where you have something other than YouTube to help boost your career and your profile. Please go to BoomUit and check out Heritage Hip Hop. We're about to finish off this interview today in this podcast. So once again, thank you everybody who helps, promotes, and stay tuned for more because we have more big interviews to come with some credible artists, and we have a surprise coming for the month of May. So stay tuned. With that being said, this is K.R.I.T from Heritage Hip Hop saying thank you to everybody out there. Peace, and we out.